Hello everyone, welcome back to Base Damage and welcome back to Community Fridays. This week we have a deck posted by Palmer's Trainer in the Base Damage Discord that this went perfectly with the video that I just posted yesterday doing Budget Uma, basically taking the Satono Diamond trial deck and basically using that as a floor plan to build up from there, picking up some budget cards and just kind of enhancing that. And I had been trying to think of what to do with the other trial deck, but then I saw Palmer had posted this and it worked perfectly. So I'm like, you know what? This works out perfectly for a Community Fridays video. So what it sounds like, they used the other trial deck because Uma does have two particular trial decks. The Satono Diamond is the main one that I wanted to focus on yesterday, but this in particular focuses on the other one. And I really like what Palmer did with this. We're going to go over each and every card. And for the most part, they dodged a lot of the more expensive cards except for the Grass Wonder Ricky, which hopefully it comes down a little bit more. But other than that, like even the other double rares in this deck, the Narita Top Road, the Mambo, the Kitasan Black, those are double rares, but they're like very, very cheap. So extremely budget friendly in that regard. So outside of the Grass Wonders, you yourself could easily do a glow up for this deck as well. But let's hop right into it. Off to the races, as they say. So obviously, like I said, this is focused mainly around the choice trigger for the special week. I was about to say Narita Top Road. The special week choice trigger from the trial deck, as well as the Silent Suzuka +2 soul. And if you know me, I love me some +2 soul shenanigans. It's always fun. So that's going to be coming up in a little bit here, but that is the main climax setup getting into this. Mainly yellow-green with a little bit of splash of some other stuff. So we have, to start us off, 2 copies of Formula R Maruzinski as a 3/2/9/5. On attack, give one of your other Umas 2k, and during the turn, this card is placed on stage from hand. When damage dealt by this card is cancelled, put the top card of your deck into your waiting room. Deal X damage to your opponent, X equal to the level of that card, +1. So it's always going to at least burn 1, can possibly burn more. If you mill a 3, you can burn for 4, which is hilarious. But very nice there, and I like this as an off finisher. I actually included it in the deck that I did, so 2 copies of that. 1 copy of the Classy Lady Majora McQueen. This is from the trial deck. It's a 3/2/9k. If you have 2 or more other Uma moves to make characters, this gets 2500 power and character encore. So that'll make her an 11/5. When this is placed on stage from hand, look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose 1 card amongst them, put it in your hand, put the rest into waiting room. And that's actually a very, very nice inclusion for this, being able to dig for your climax combos, because none of them add to hand in any shape, form, or fashion, especially because the Silent Suzuka coming up next is the +2 soul combo. Yes, the +2 soul combo on a level 3 is just so funny to me, and I love it. It's a 3/2/9k Silent Runner Silent Suzuka. Placed on stage from hand, put up to 1 card from the top of your clock into waiting room, and this gets +3k till end of turn, making her a 12, and that's very significant considering the +2 soul does not give any power bonus. When this attacks, if the +2 soul is in your climax area, you can pay 1, and you have another Uma, which you don't need a marker for this one. Gotta point that out here. You don't need markers from the inspiration stuff. You can pay 1 stock. If you do deal 2 damage to your opponent, and this gains -1 soul till end of turn. So with the +2 soul, she's typically going to be sitting at 4, but that reduces it down to just 3 soul, which is going to be what your average, like, oh, here's a level 3 with like a 1k1 is typically going to be 3 soul anyway. So it works out really well, and you get to burn. So she has a little bit more reach than most of your other stuff, and then your other characters are going to be hitting really hard because of the +2 soul. So 4 copies of her, definitely mandatory. Speaking of mandatory cards, we have the Step Smile Wink Tokaiteo. Is a 3/2/10k. This is the stock swap of the set. So you're probably always going to be splashing in red to at least try to include 1 copy of this card. On play, pay 1. Your opponent puts all their stock into waiting room and puts the same number from the top of their deck into their stock. Not to be confused with Stock Shuffle, which puts all of your opponent's stock back into the deck, shuffles, and then they put the same number from the top of the deck back into the stock. This is much better in terms of like what you could do to really punish your opponent. So I like this one way more, and so do the rest of the fan base. So the second effect, I'll mention it real quick, but you can't use it in this deck because she's only running 1 copy, but it's understandable. You're just there for the stock swap. But She does have a secondary effect. On attack, pay 1, put a copy of her from hand to waiting room, burn 1. But since you're only running 1 copy, you can't do that effect, but figured I'd mention it. 1 copy of Tenacious Girl Haru Urara. Blessed, rest in peace. 2/1, 25. Level assist to characters in front, and an act ability to rest to draw 1 card and then discard 1 card. So hand filtering is always good. And once again, like you get to level 3, you're going to be wanting to try to filter with this, with the McQueen, and try to get the +2 souls so you can go off with your Suzukas. So 1 copy of the Asian Flash. This is the 3K memory kick backup of the set. I don't think there's another one in the set, and it really doesn't matter regardless, but this is a memory kick backup. Very nice. One of my favorite Umas of all time, Shooting Star Review Fuji Kiseki, is a 2/1 1K. When this is placed on stage from your hand, put the top 3 cards of your deck in the waiting room. If there's a climax amongst those cards, choose a level 3 or lower character in your opponent's center stage and put it in their waiting room. Just straight up nuke something. On top of that, when this card's battle, not the battle opponent, when this card becomes reversed, if the battle opponent is higher than your opponent's level, you may put that character into your opponent's stock. If you do, put the bottom card of your opponent's stock into their waiting room. So we like some anti-change stock bombs. Very nice there. Next is something that I've kind of heard some people say they really enjoy, and some people say, oh, it's not necessary, but I'm not going to go one way or another. I'll let y'all, fight it out. Authentic 1928 Gold City is a 2/1 25. If you have 2 or more other Uma, this gets 8k, so she's sitting at 10/5. The turn this is placed on stage from hand. During this gets the following abilities until the end of your opponent's next turn. A bonus 2k power during your opponent's turn, so she'll be at a 12/5, as well as great performance, which, for those who do not know, that means if she is in the middle center position of your stage and not reversed, it forces all of your opponent's characters to frontal her, meaning even the ones on the side, like not just the ones straight across from her, but the opponent's characters on the left and right positions of their stage have to frontal her. And basically your characters on the side get saved from those attacks, which is kind of crazy there. So I kind of like it, but to each their own. 1 copy of the vanilla Miono Top Gun, just because there is a bonder we'll talk about in a second here that does grab her, but just 1055 vanilla, so understandable. All right, so the other climax combo is Pure Hearted Dreamer Special Week. It's a 104k. During your turn, if you have another Uma, this gains 3k power. And with the choice trigger, she'll bump herself up to an 8k, which is significant because you do need to reverse with her. When the card's battle opponent becomes reversed, if the choice trigger is in your climax area and you have another Uma, choose up to 1 Uma character in your waiting room. Return it to your hand. And this gets the following ability until the end of your opponent's next turn. During your opponent's turn, this gets 1500 power and character encore. That puts her up to a 5/5, so the stats of a vanilla, but if you have other buffing characters and stuff in the backstage, she actually can be like a decent little defensive wall, but you got the character encore anyway. And once again, compared to the Satona Diamond, which is still very, very amazing and powerful, this one does not require a marker. Granted, you can do Satona Diamonds without a marker, but it gets more benefit when you do have a marker. So the other trial deck does not rely on markers at all, where the Satona Diamond does. So understandably so, this is very nice. Like I said, some people are going to be turned off by the having to reverse, but it's whatever. 3 copies of Clear Bliss Mr. CB. I've been using this SSR Wit card a bunch recently. It's a 103k. During your turn, this card gets 4k power, putting her at a 7k offensively. During this card's battle, when the damage you receive is canceled, you may return this card to your hand. So even though she's only 3k defensively, she has a chance of just bouncing right back to your hand. You can just use her again the next turn. So very nice there. Honestly, a really nice upgrade to the deck. 2 copies of Searching for Unseen Sights Silent Suzuka. Now, this is a shop promo, literally just like participation. So you can basically get these for free just by going and playing Weiss at your locals. So very nice there. 1045, when this is placed on stage, this turn this gets 1500 power. And when this card attacks, you can discard a card. If you do, choose one of your other Uma characters and return it to your hand. Now, I'm not certain the exact use case that Palmer is using this in, because if you do the Climax combo with the Special Week, she has character encore. If you do this, you could just bounce it back to hand, but once again, their cook, not mine. Maybe they have a particular thing. I would say probably the best use case for this would maybe be if you wanted to somehow reuse Gold City, or if you had an early play level 3 that heals or something, and you wanted to reuse those effects, I can see where the Silent Suzuka is going to be very, very powerful in that regard. So that's just me kind of like throwing ideas out there, but obviously, not my cook, it's someone else's, but here we go. Moving on, I actually don't remember what the Smart Falcon does. 0015, Love Forever Smart Falcon. Place on stage from hand. If you have 2 or more other Uma, you may draw a card and then discard a card. Very good hand filtering. When this is placed on stage from hand, pay 1, pitch 1, search your deck for an Uma, and add it to your hand. So, drop searcher, always good to have. The Grass Wonder Ricky Fairest Fleur, if I'm mispronouncing that, I do apologize. 001K, place the stage from hand and look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck. Put them on top of your deck in any order, which does kind of matter here for the second effect, for the Ricky effect. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1 and put the top card of your deck into your clock. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 level 1 or lower character. Reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. So basically being able to go, look at the top 2 cards. Oh, look, I don't want the next card to be a climax. Let me swap that to whatever card I want to be on top that's hopefully not a climax. Now, if you see 2 climaxes, you just eat it. It's kind of whatever. But it is nice that you can be like, okay, cool. Oh, it's not a climax. Hopefully, but that is very nice. And obviously the knowledge of knowing what your top cards are going to be is usually very good. If you instead decide not to use the Ricky effect like it's a late game thing, knowing what those top 2 are could be beneficial for, say, if you want to frontal attack, side attack when it gets to the late game, and you kind of know what your triggers are going to be. So that's very nice there. But obviously you're going to use it to grab your special weeks and move on. All right, this is the nice nature that I said bonds with the Mayono Top Gun. This one in particular, just double checking the thing. So the bond is, when this is placed on stage, you can put the top card of your deck into your clock. If you do, choose one of the Mayono Top Gun in Waiting Room and return it to your hand. But she also has an act ability to sack herself from field and discard 1 card to salvage back any Uma character in your Waiting Room. So very nice card, very good to have what people call helmet effects. This is also a very good addition to the deck. I like the Noble Sea Mare, if I'm mispronouncing that, I'm so sorry. The Fine Motion Brainstormer, 00500. When a climax is placed in your climax area, you can discard a card, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. Your opponent chooses 1 event or character from amongst them, puts it into your hand, but the rest into your Waiting Room. Then you can brainstorm as well. Pay 1, rest this, mill 4. For each climax, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck and add 1 of them to hand. So any 1 card can go to hand. You can get your climaxes that way. So I think that's honestly one of the best use case scenarios for this. I know I also mentioned the gold ship is not that horrible if you have any of the double crit triggers in your deck. So, this would count for it, but I definitely see where the Fine Motion is very powerful for this. 3 copies of Peachy Silhouette Narita Top Road, 0015. If all of your characters are Uma, she gains 1,000. So 25 minimum on your turn. During your opponent's turn, if you have another Uma, this gains 15. So she'll be sitting at a 4K. At the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you may move this card to an open position of your center stage with a character facing this card, so she can run in front. So why are there not more Uma runner cards in Uma Musume? I just thought of that. Why is there not more? There's a couple. There's 2 or 3, but there's really not that many by comparison. I need to see the movie set. Moving on, we have 2 copies of Machitan Adventure Matakane Tannhauser, otherwise known as Mambo. 00500. Place on stage from hand, put the top 2 cards of your deck into Waiting Room. If there's a climax amongst those, give one of your characters 1500 power till end of turn. When this card is placed on stage, you can discard a card. If you do, reveal the top card of your deck and salvage back a character equal to the level of that card or lower. So being able to just do that and grab back your special weeks or whatever is very nice. Or whatever other utility stuff you need. So 2 copies of the Flair Austin Machan. This is one of, I think, just 2 climax swappers in the set right now, at least in set 1, obviously. 002K, if it's in the middle position, gets 1,000. On play, pay 1 pitch a climax to salvage back a climax. So typically people are running this in the other decks, just running 2 copies of this and then running the Tokai Teo to be able to have your red fix. So very nice there. And lastly, 3 copies of Fire at My Heels Kita-san Black, 001K. Place on stage from hand, choose one of your Umas, and give it 15 until end of turn, which is significant if you think about it, because you do need to reverse with the special week. So if it's sitting at 8K typically before any other buffs, you can use that and make it a 9-5. That's going to get over most stuff, especially at level 1, so that's very, very nice there. Secondly, when this card is put into your Waiting Room from the stage, you can discard 1 card, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose 1 level 1 or higher card amongst them, reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. You could grab events with this, but it doesn't seem like Palmer is running any events for this particular deck. But you have a lot of really good level 1 and higher targets, whether that's Gold City, the Special Week, the Mr. CB, so on and so forth. Just very, very good to have that in there for the tech. And also more red fix so that you can do your stock swaps. I very much like that. 4 copies of the When One Chapter Ends for the Special Week Climax combo, and 4 copies of Right Here From Now On for the Silent Suzuka +2 Soul. And that is going to be it for the deck. Once again, big thank you to Palmer's Trainer for sharing this. Like I said, it kind of saved my bacon here. I was like, I don't know what to do with the other trial deck. I really didn't prepare something for that for the budget video. So this definitely helped. I do greatly appreciate it, Palmer. If you want to submit your own deck profiles as well, feel free to join the Base Damage Discord. There will be 2 different channels you can post in. There's a decklist submissions as well as just a Community Fridays submissions channel as well. Feel free to post it in either one. Just please post it under deck log because it's easier for me to show off, and it's more likely to show up on a video if you do so. So thank you very much once again. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTuber shenanigans, and we will see y'all another day. Stay safe and stay based.